What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire. As always, spitting the hot topics, getting the sports conversation started. And the topic of today is Zion Williamson. Is he a bust already? Let's talk about it. So when Zion came in the league, he was 6'6". At first they listed him at 6'7". We found out at the combine 6'6", 285. Now, they said that was mostly muscle at the time. That's the reports from the experts, the team doctors and whatnot at Duke. And going into the NBA, they had him at 285. That was something we haven't seen before. Who are the players we can really compare Zion to? Let's start there. Charles Barkley, who was listed at 6'6" sometimes during his time in the league, was about 6'5". I've talked to people say he might have been 6'4". He came into the league even heavier than Zion, right around that 280 to 290 range. Moses Malone and those guys got on him saying he was overweight, needed to lose weight. But he was able to adjust, and he did get his weight down. But again, a different body structure, different body type. Barkley, to no one's naked eye, not even to the doctors, did they think he was a mostly muscle 280, 290 plus guy. This was a guy that definitely had a little cushion to go with his muscle as well, but he was a supreme athlete and able to adjust and play. Then you got guys like LeBron James. LeBron James, when he came into the league, remember, this is a dude that in high school, for people who don't remember, was 6'7" in the 10th grade, 240 pounds. That's not a normal 10th grader, people. He was big. Some people would say, well, LeBron was in shape. That's not what they were saying back then. As far as they said, he was in shape as far as a physical specimen, but he was overweight. Same thing they were saying about Zion coming in, is that he was big for his size. How was that going to work? Was he going to have issues? People said that LeBron James's legs might not hold up in the long run because he was so big at his size. Guys that were around 6'7", 6'8", when LeBron came into the league, he was around 6'8". He was still 240, 245. That wasn't the case. Most guys around that size, that height rather, they would have been around 220, 225, maybe even 215. So LeBron had a good 20 to 30 pounds, but it was muscle. And he took care of his body and didn't have injury. He wasn't an injury-prone type of guy. So we've seen how, for the most part, he's held up throughout his career. That's another example. Then you got Shaquille O'Neal, the big Aristotle. This guy, when he came into the league out of college, was 7'1", 300 pounds. Now, at the time, people was like, that's crazy. You know, guys like Wilt Chamberlain, who was 7'1", who was like in the 250 range, up to 270 range at best. You had other guys who were in the 7-foot range that were 250, you know, less than that at times. Patrick Ewing, I don't even think he made it past 260, and he was 7'1". Shaq at 300 was so much larger than an average 7'1" guy coming into the NBA. They weren't sure if he was going to make it, but he was mostly muscle, a physical freak. But they talked about the concerns weight-wise, and we saw him balloon up to as much as 350 during his days with the Lakers. During the championship runs, I think he might have hit 350 around that when they were going through that 2002 run. Kobe, that was around the time Kobe was really pissed and upset because he was letting his weight get out of hand, and Shaq would say, I'd show up when the playoffs come around. But we forget about that too. But back to Zion. So Zion Williams, like I said, he hit the league at 285, 6'6". But this is a 285, 6'6" that was jumping from the free throw line and dunking the ball in Duke practices. Foot not even touching the line. I'm talking about a legit Michael Jordan, maybe better type of glide and hang time at 285. So we know it's not a 285 that he can't get off the ground. He's got explosion, quickness. Now, what we do also know is he's got some issues injury-wise. We're talking about a guy who in college blew out through his own shoe and had the foot injury because of how physically powerful he is and the moves he makes. They had to create a special shoe for this guy because the shoe that they had wasn't built to withstand the explosion and the power that he was coming with. This guy is not normal, even though he is human. Now, in the NBA, you got to remember, when he came into the league, he was nursing his injuries that he had went through in college and had to try to bounce back. He didn't play many games in his rookie season, but when he did play, he looks like an all-star caliber player. People were even questioning, should Ja Morant get Rookie of the Year, even though Ja played the whole season and was killing. But just seeing Zion for 20 games, he looked like a guy who people actually were having a conversation, should he be Rookie of the Year? Does that sound like a bust to y'all? Let's think about that. Then the next year, once he finished nursing those injuries, he played 60 games, which is a lot of games in the league. I know we want everybody to play 82, and that's nice. That just doesn't happen typically. And we're talking about a season last season that was a 70-game season. He played 60 of them and was an all-star and earned the all-star. It wasn't given to him. He looked like an all-star, had his team moving in the right direction. And in this year, Zion, he had the foot injury, had to get surgery on it. Now, we got a little bit of a problem here that he's dealing with, because basically, from the naked eye looking in, we don't really know what goes on behind closed doors, but it looks like he can't monitor his diet, right? They say he's been reported up to 330 pounds. That's 45 pounds heavier than what his playing weight was when he came in. Keep in mind, if you put on 45 pounds, whoever watching this video, I don't care if you're 100 pounds, I don't care if you're 300 pounds, 40 pounds is a lot to put on from where you previously were. It's going to have a lot of different effects on your body. You're going to feel sluggish, you're going to feel tired, you're going to feel weak, you're going to be more susceptible to injury. You're going to have a lot of things that can happen, and Zion had a foot injury that he had to have surgery on, and he's putting all that weight on it, and now he's gained more weight. Possibly because of a bad diet plan. Who knows what's going on with his nutritionist? But let's not forget, he's 18. When you were 18, how was your diet plan? And don't say he's a professional. He's supposed to have people there to do this and do that for him. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen, but he's still the one in charge, because he's still the one writing the check for these nutritionists that are trying to help him, these personal trainers that are trying to help him. He's the star, not them. He's dictating things. He's getting to be a grown man at 18 and truly have to live in those shoes, and a lot of us don't have to at times deal with that. So, yeah, he got some things to work on, but what 18-year-old doesn't? And what 18-year-olds had it all down pat when it comes to eating habits and exercise regimen and plans? Hell, at this point, Zion's been getting over on just being a freak of nature and a freak athlete, like most guys at 18 to make it to that level. They just are more gifted than everybody else. Now he's going to have to learn to be disciplined. So the question is, will he be disciplined? We'll have to wait and see. We really don't know. But I will tell you this. Typically, people who are 17, 18 going into college, they put on what they call the freshman 15. Even if you don't go to college, people put on weight from 18 to 25. Michael Jordan came into the league in like around 195, 6'6". When he was around 96, and that time he was around 215, 220. Going throughout his career, he put on weight and muscle. LeBron James came in at 240. He sits around 260 now, but it's muscle, grown man muscle. Regardless of what people may think, you do put on grown man weight. As you get older, people naturally, even when you working out and exercising and eating right, we don't know how he naturally puts on weight. Everybody don't put on weight the same way. I know people, I'm one of them. I can look at a plate of food and gain 5 pounds. And I'm joking, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean. Some people can eat whatever they want, got a high metabolism, and it drops right off. That might not be Zion. And he's living in New Orleans, people, let me tell you. There's a lot of good food in New Orleans, and he's a man too. You think he can't get him a nice plate of food in New Orleans whenever he wanted, whatever he want? Please. He got a lot to work on. We hope he's not injury prone, but guys have injury issues from time to time. And we've seen some guys that have been injury prone. Grant Hill was an all-star caliber player, and due to injuries never amounted to be the same player again. Penny Hardaway, same thing. Derrick Rose, same thing. Hopefully that's not Zion. We've seen him be an all-star legitimately. Hopefully we get to see that again and more, but we're going to have to wait to see. But just because a guy got a leg injury don't mean it's strictly because of the weight. Now, the setback now might be because of the weight, because he put on 45 pounds on a bad leg, sitting around possibly not working out and eating poorly. But he gets that down to 285, or even if he can get it down, say, to 270, 265, that would be great for his body type. And then maybe he's trying to dunk from the three-point line instead of the free throw line. He'd lose 15, 20 pounds off of where he was. Although that could affect his game, because part of his game was powering through people at 280. So we'll see where it goes. I'm rooting for him. Hopefully you are too. Wouldn't call him a bust, because a bust usually means they did not amount to what we expected in terms of their game on the court when we see him on the court. Greg Oden, he never looked like Greg Oden again. You know, other players who have been considered busts, Kwame Brown, he was a #1 draft pick, but he didn't look like a #1 pick. We didn't see him make all-star games. That's the difference. Zion doesn't have to be the greatest player to ever have played the game of basketball, but we do expect him to be a legitimate perennial all-star and make some noise in the league. Hopefully we get to see that for 10 plus years, but we'll see. But don't hate on the dude, and don't write him off too soon. I think he's still got some more to go. He's still got some left in the tank. The kid is only in his early 20s, people. Let's see what happens. All right, y'all, that's all the time I got. You know what you're looking for. J Heat Sports Media. Sports Media is all one word. J and Heat, there's a space there, 2 separate words. Catch me on YouTube. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hate, comment, whatever. Please come at me. I love debating. Also catch me on Instagram, at the Vault JMU414, on Twitter. And of course, what's up, TikTok? Holla at y'all next time.